Meanwhile, ExxonMobil has announced the first major oil discovery in the Gulf of Mexico since last year's oil spill. The oil giant says it found 700 million barrels of oil trapped beneath the region southwest of New Orleans. The company is calling one of the largest discoveries in the Gulf in the past decade. But after last year's crude crisis, is it too early to start drilling again?
Deep into the Gulf of Mexico, oil companies are drilling for the future. ExxonMobil drilled a well 7,000 feet deep at a location 250 miles southwest of New Orleans. The oil giant said they found roughly 700 million barrels of oil. That's roughly enough to power the U.S. for 28 days. But Stefan Henkel feels oil has given us enough problems. He thinks this discovery will make us complacent about our energy sources.
It will deliver another excuse for us to just continue the way we're going without making any effort to changing that.
He says the world had ample time to prepare for last year's oil spill.
It happened before in 1979, closer to Mexico, and it was called Ixtoc.
NOAA says in June 1979, the Ixtoc-1 exploratory well blew out, spilling thousands of barrels of oil a day for 9 months. This is a picture of the Texas coast during that time, very similar to what we saw on the Gulf Coast decades later.
It was a similar disaster with the same kinds of problems.
Thad Stewart works at Zeke's Landing. His business and wallet experienced firsthand the effects of last year's spill, but he fully supports drilling.
The offshore drilling industry, they have some of the most strict safety guidelines out of any industry in the United States. And so, I mean, as long as they play by the rules and they do what they're supposed to do, it's great for everybody.
One thing both men agree on, it's important that oil companies learn from the past.
ExxonMobil had plans to drill the well last year, but it was halted because of the temporary ban on deepwater drilling. Over the past decade, the company has drilled 36 deepwater wells in the Gulf of Mexico.